Today's K movie is, I think this is our first time introducing action film. It's Jakpe in Korean, and the English title is The City of Violence. The City of Violence is a 2006 action film co-written and directed by Ryoo Seung-wan, who also stars in the film, along with action director and longtime collaborator Jung. You probably know him for his blockbuster films, including Gunamdo, The Battleship Island, and Veteran, which came out in 2015. Ryoo Seung-wan was born in Onyang, a small town in South Chungcheong province. This is where this movie takes place too. I mean, even though the movie doesn't call it Onyang, they call it Onsong in the movie. Young Ryoo Seung-wan often went for kinetic and free-spirited action films from the Shaw Brothers canon. Watching Jackie Chan's Drunken Master turned him to a lifelong fan, and Ryoo spent his youth building his knowledge of and love for Hong Kong-style action films. Dreaming of becoming a film director someday, he took taekwondo lessons and saved money for 3 years during middle school to buy an 8mm camera, with which he shot his very first short films. And his dream came true. In 1998, his short film, Rumble, won him the best film at the 1998 Busan Short Film Festival. An year later, he signed a contract to develop a feature film out of Rumble and 3 following sequels. And the 4 shorts, shot on an ultra-low budget of around 65 million won, which is about 6 grand in US dollar, became Ryoo's first feature film, Die Bad, 죽거나 혹은 나쁘거나. Jakpe, The City of Violence, is his 3rd feature film after Crying Fist. The story reunites 3 former childhood friends for their friend's funeral, which prompts 2 vowing to find his murderer. Taesu, played by Jung, a detective fighting organized crime, returns to his hometown for his high school friend Wang Jae's funeral. At the funeral, he meets his old friends Pilho, played by Lee Bum-soo, Dong-hwan, played by Jang Seok-yong, and Seok-hwan, played by Ryoo Seung-wan himself. And they reminisce. Suspecting something fishy about Wang Jae's death, Taesu and Seok-hwan start investigating it, each in his own way. Both of their investigations lead to a land development project that Pilho's directing, and the 2 embark on a difficult battle. The Guardian wrote about this movie when the movie came out in 2006. In plot terms, there's nothing in this Korean crime drama you haven't seen many times before, but youthful director Ryoo Seung-wan, 33 back then, and already on his 7th film, pulls off the set pieces with such verve that at times this is as much fun to watch as Stephen Chow of Kung Fu Hustle fame. I think this is a totally wrong comparison. You can't compare The City of Violence to Kung Fu Hustle. It's 2 different genres, first of all. And because these guys, Ryoo Seung-wan and Jung are so serious. Ryoo Seung-wan got injured big time, during shooting this film. I think this is medical term. His cruciate ligaments were cut during the filming, and I think he had to stay in hospital for a month to recover. This movie, Jakpe, was shown at New York Asian Film Festival 2011. That was 5 years later, the original release. Ryoo Seung-wan gave a Q&A session after the screening. And the program book that was published for this Q&A session introduced the film as packed with sneak attack breakdancers, BMX bandits, gibbering junkies, and whipped into a frenzy by a hardcore, funkalicious soundtrack. City of Violence is so thoroughly 80s that you would expect to find it on a grindhouse double bill with Death Wish 2, not in a fancy pants film festival. But this stripped-down old-school action flick is from Korea's master of on-screen mayhem, Ryoo Seung-wan. He back then just finished directing The Unjust and Dachimawa Lee. He teams up with Korea's master stuntman and action choreographer Chung Do-hong to punch out the lights with this two-fisted perf rocket. I truly agree with the copyline that it shows the perfect teamwork of Ryoo Seung-wan and Chung Do-hong. They never used stuntmen during filming this film because they were the stuntmen themselves. They started their career as stuntmen and then action director and then director finally. And their action is the most realist element of this film.
Music,
news,
information,
everything about Korea.
Arirang.
radio.
I must say I admire this film. I think I almost respect this film to a certain level. The obvious element is the action part, and we can't not talk about Chung Do-hong, who's actually not an actor, but most renowned action director of Korea. And he's also a martial arts choreographer and stunt coordinator. First, he was hired as a stuntman for Im Kwon-taek's movie 장군의 아들, General's Son. That was 1990. And he then quickly rose up to the ranks to become the action director on the 1992 film 시라소니, making him at the age of 25 the youngest to hold that job in Korean film history. In the succeeding years, Chung Do-hong undisputedly became the country's most important and influential action director, remaining in the center of Korean movie action by directing, choreographing action for 4 to 6 movies per year. He was responsible for designing the street shooting in Shiri, which is the very first Korean blockbuster film that came out in 1999. The wrestling in The Foul King that came out in 2000, and the movie stars Song Kang-ho. And the Western spectacle in The Good, the Bad, the Weird, Nom Nom Nom, which came out in 2008. And the hand-to-hand combat and wire work in The Berlin File, which is also one of the Ryoo Seung-wan's films. Constantly innovating, Chung Do-hong is the acknowledged creator of Koreanized action, the rough and realistic Korean style of action and fight choreography. Chung Do-hong previously listed Bang No-sik, who is a classic action star, and Jang Dong-hwi among the Korean action film actors that he respects. And his commitment, passion, and pride regarding the action martial arts filmmakings in Korea are part of the reason he founded the Seoul Action School at a gymnasium in 1998. It later expanded and moved to Paju in 2009. And he continues to be an advocate for safe working conditions and adequate compensation for stuntmen in Korea, which I think is pretty important. International projects besides Korean cinema, Chung Do-hong was the action director for the 2002 Japanese film Seoul, Seoul by Masahiko Nagasawa, and the 2007 Russian blockbuster Mongol, The Rise of Genghis Khan by Sergei Bodrov. He was also the stunt double for actor Lee Byung-hun in Lee Byung-hun's Hallyu films G.I. Joe, Battalion, and Red 2. If you're a fan of hardcore action films, this is a must. I'll participate in a Q&A session after the screening of this film, which took place 2 years ago. We played this movie at 4 universities, including Indiana University in Bloomington, Urbana-Champaign, UIUC, and Louisville, Kentucky. And there were great responses, just fanatic responses from audiences after the screening. I guarantee you this movie will not disappoint you.